This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast at the Belleville, Ontario. This Wednesday, August 3rd, around the Philbin household, it's my daughter's birthday.
Yes.
And Tom Brady's birthday. And on any given day, I love one more than the other. Today, I love my daughter more.
Oh, well, that's good.
But I'm still impressed as heck with Tom at 45.
45. Still playing. And as you learned this morning, too, it is also Martin Sheen's, Martha Stewart, and Tony Bennett's birthday.
I love all those people, too.
It is a stellar day.
I could do without Martha Stewart, but I mean, I don't wish her harm or ill.
No, but she's still a very successful woman.
Martin Sheen, President of the United States on the West Wing.
And Tony Bennett. Who doesn't love Tony Bennett?
My gosh.
So
Tony
a good
Bennett,
day.
An icon.
It wasn't going to be a good day, or there was the potential for it to go downhill real quick for me this morning.
And I know you're safe, and the dad in me kicks in. It's so funny that you knew that I would
I thought of you as soon as I rolled in.
Poop when you...
And started pumping the gas or trying to.
I don't like it.
That you would be very upset with me.
I don't like it when Charity comes in the morning and says, oh, maybe I'm a couple minutes behind where I was. You're still here with lots of time. But he said, but I had to stop and get gas. It's but normally, it's dark and isolated where you live,
dark.
north of Narnia. And so where would you pump gas safely? And I know
Sterling.
You're an incredibly independent 42-year-old woman, more than capable of doing that. But the dad in me is can't you pump gas in daytime hours?
Well, I did it on a side that was very well lit. There were lots of lights.
I get it.
I don't go to the darkest corner of the gas station. But no, it wasn't. I knew that there was the potential it might not be open. And it wasn't. But I kept my fingers crossed that maybe the pumps would still run. Thankfully, though, as I was trying to pump gas, because I couldn't do it yesterday on my way home, because I just wanted to get home, I see this woman walk across the parking lot. And she was very nice at 4 o'clock in the morning and said, they're not on yet. I said, oh, okay. Well, she goes, well, if you give me a minute, I'll go in and flip the switch essentially and turn it on. I said, well, nice? I didn't want to rush her. She's like, no, it'll take 2 minutes. Just give me a minute. I said, okay. So I waited. And yes, I was able to get gas and get to work. I feel confident I would have made it anyway. Sure. Didn't want to take the chance. I knew you'd already be mad at me. So if literally I did run out of gas, it would have made a great story. It would have been our entire morning show.
Right.
So I feel bad that didn't happen for that reason. But glad that it didn't happen because then I didn't have to call you and tell you that I was on the side of the road.
And that would have been
gas.
3 podcasts. That would have gone
It really
on.
would have been.
But the woman's name was Bernadette, and we called her in Sterling, and she said, she didn't realize she had a brush with greatness at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was Charity Brown.
Whatever.
But she said, hey, that's what small towns are for. Isn't that great? Where else would that happen?
That's the attitude, right?
Yeah,
that's
for
the
sure.
feeling.
Of course I'm going to help you.
Here is, now, I don't want to stereotype, but I was female. If it was a man, I don't know if it would be the same feeling. But being a woman and then having her be a woman too.
Come across, right.
Yeah. It wasn't weird. It was very comfortable and it was just nice. It was just a nice interaction at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So thank you, Bernadette. There's always that thought though, because as I pulled away, I wondered if she would have interacted with me if I had been a man. Mm-hmm. And if she had been a man, would that
exchange been any different?
Yeah.
Because of
how
the time.
would that exchange change?
Right. Yeah.
Because I didn't feel, as you pointed out, stopping in the middle of the night and it being dark, I didn't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
At no point did I question my surroundings but there's always that element, right?
It's funny though, we got some texts from another woman that says she does it all the time because she works in the morning, doesn't matter. And another one that said, yeah, she's not allowed to get below a quarter tank. Because she said, I can hear my dad. She said, you're right. When you were talking, Mark, I can hear my dad. And that was a dad and me coming out going, ee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I don't normally let it go that low.
Yeah.
But like that one caller said, when I was leaving yesterday, I didn't want to make another stop. So I just wanted to go home.
I go home.
I'll get it tomorrow. But yeah, but anyway, don't hold off too long,
Bernadette, guys. And the Bernadettes of the Quinte region, thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Because it's no fun being a gas station attendant with the price. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because we have Breanne and David coming up from the Belleville Senators, who as ticket sellers it kind of got a little bit crazy on them last week. We're going to get to that. But before we do, we want to celebrate the fact that this is our 200th podcast. And it's been growing. Thank you. The first day, one person listened to half of it, and that was me. So that was the very first one to make sure it actually worked. And like everything else, it's slowly building.
Yes.
Till we have like 28 subscribers or something. So 28 of you are every day.
In July, about 25
subscribers. So brand new. Thank you.
Every day. Yeah. And our peak listening and watching, because we're available on YouTube as well. So I guess that's watching. Technically, you're listening, but viewing has gone up. July as well for views specifically. So thank you to everybody who's following along with us. You hope that it's entertaining. You hope that people want to stick around and what we're talking about is relevant. So for you guys, it is. So thank you. Thank you very much.
If the radio ratings are any indication, it's not. It's just, it's more the same later on in the day. I tease because I tease. But anyway, Hey, if you ever want to text in, by the way, 613-962-0955, because we record here in the booth.
Yeah.
So we have all the technology available to us. But of course, it's recorded by the time you hear it. So if you text right now, it'll be on tomorrow's podcast. But that's fine. Just send it to the station. Put for American Charity Coffee Podcast. You know, why does charity not like pumping gas a day? Like, we don't care what it is. Like, Mark, why are you such a jerk?
If there's something you want us to talk about or something you want to ask us, because we were doing the Ask Us Anything on Fridays.
Yeah.
So if there's something you want to know or how, we would love to have you involved.
If you have a community event, like one guy texted in this morning that there's a catch and release coming up on the Bay, which is great. Mario texted in there that there's a catch release bass tournament coming up. Trent Rotary's putting it on August 23rd.
Oh.
They're going to be putting a marshal out on 20 boats. Would make a good radio interview. And I thought, or podcast. So if you are interested in that, Trenton Rotary, contact them August 23rd. So that's coming up. Yeah, we love talking about it because, I mean, we have listeners, we know where they come. There are some in Toronto that are around, and they like to come up this region. I know they listen to us, and so we got a few subscribers in Toronto that may say, oh, I'm going to go back there on August 23rd. Let us know. We'll put it on the podcast.
Absolutely.
So that's going on this morning. But the big event last week was the selling of the tickets.
Yeah, you weren't here for it.
Yeah, and
it was something.
Yeah, and that's
it really
best described.
Was.
And that's funny what David and Breanne Matthews, the vice president of the Belleville Senators, had to say. Because again, if you're unaware, Toronto Maple Leafs and Ottawa Senators are going to play a preseason game here, and not just any. Like the first game, I think, is sometime in September. This is September 30th. So we're getting to cut time, right? Yeah. We're getting to within 7 or 8 days of puck drop of the regular season. So this isn't just any game. This is a big game.
And it was
meant
an
important one.
As a thank you. Yeah. Eugene Melnick, who passed away this spring, had set the balls in motion, had started the ball rolling, as a thank you to the city, because during the pandemic, the city, as we've heard, lifted all fees and anything that was from their businesses or renters or clients. They lifted the fees and any rent they had to pay during that time. So as a thank you, Melnick wanted to bring this game to Belleville. So so it was supposed to be good. It was supposed to be a really good thing for the city.
And it will be.
It will be. Absolutely.
Will be.
It was just unfortunate last week. There really felt like all of a sudden now there's a cloud over it.
Yeah, because
which is unfortunate.
Belleville Senators weren't really sure how it was going to be accepted, and I think everybody in town thought there'd be enough tickets for
everyone,
60,000. So we got in touch, or they got in touch with us, with Breanne and David Foot, and had a really good forthright discussion on what the situation really is, and what we can all learn from it, and how to still support the organization moving forward.
For sure. Like, I think that there's lots of different things that I've learned working in sports and entertainment that I didn't understand working in different industries, or, even being involved. Our staff is all, involved in this community here. And I think that we didn't even really know what the expectation was or what the interest would be. It's a preseason game, but it's two fantastic teams. It's really exciting, but at the same time, it is an exhibition game. And so we weren't really sure, but I think definitely what I've learned in ticket sales and entertainment is that, there's different groups that require more time to purchase. There's different, organizations and community groups that, they can't just, get a credit card out and purchase off of Ticketmaster right away. So we had to kind of stage things in a way that would make it more accessible for more people. And I think that the general public doesn't necessarily see all of that work that we're doing in the background, or, all of the different community groups and minor sports teams and different things that we're working with that, they can't just jump online and Ticketmaster at 10 a.m. and make a large purchase to make it accessible. So we had to kind of, take some priorities away from the general public and make sure that we were serving our community in the way that Mr. Melnick wanted. And, this was really his opportunity to give back to something and a community that had given so much to him. And he was such a huge supporter of the city of Belleville and Quinte West and the county and just all of the, surrounding communities. But, there's different things that we have to do to make sure that it's accessible, to everyone. And I know that raised a lot of questions. And so, hopefully we're going to be able to clarify some of that different stuff, this week and kind of, pump the brakes a little bit and say, okay, whoa, like we did our best. And I'm sorry that, we're never going to make everyone happy is the other thing as well.
Breanne and David join us from the Belleville Senators. Well, first of all, there's only 4,400 seats, so let's do the math on that. But secondly, some of the comments that came out of it, certainly on the negative side, seem to fall into the lap of the season ticket holders, and somehow they're holding the team ransom on seats, and that couldn't be farther from the truth.
No, so we had a large volume. Basically, season ticket holders had first right of refusal over their individual seats. So, they were able to say, yes, we'd like to opt in and use our seats for this game, or say, we already have plans, we're traveling, whatever the case may be, and feel free to sell our seats. Then they were given an opportunity, businesses and different, our corporate partners that have supported us, through the last 5 years, 6 years, they were given an opportunity to purchase for their employees as well. And, there's also areas of the arena that we can't sell, for different reasons because of viewpoints or just, it's accessible seating that shouldn't be available to the general public, or, there's, we need to hold something because of a camera view or something like that. So, while our fire code is 44, it's actually probably we sell to around 42. So when you look at probably 2,000 seats are taken by, season ticket holders and corporate partners, and then you get a couple groups in there and, our nurses and our frontline workers that obviously we want to support them. It adds up pretty quickly. And I think Belleville itself has a population of over 60,000 now. So it's hard to fit everyone into the rink.
Certainly. And as you said, so it was manually done and every ticket was approved. So where did these rumors of the resale or the reselling of these tickets come from, and how are you handling that?
Yeah, so I think that it's super easy to just say, we went out very quickly and the mayor as well, when he announced the game, we said, the only way to guarantee your seat is to be a season ticket holder. And, for us, it's important to generate revenue. That's, we're a business at the end of the day. And while, we thrive in supporting our community, it's really important for us to be able to be a healthy business and be able to function. So, I think that people jumped on that right away as, okay, well, that's where all the tickets went. And maybe there are a couple of season ticket holders who did purchase additional tickets with the plan of reselling them. But I mean, they're going to be pretty disappointed because, reselling tickets is against our terms and conditions of the ticket sale. So any tickets that we find out are being resold or being, just over the weekend, we would have, screenshots sent to us from third-party ticket vendors, and we're immediately contacting Ticketmaster, finding out the location of the seats, finding out whose account they're in. And, the team last, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even some yesterday were, calling people and saying, hey, we're seeing that your tickets are listed on this site and we're going to be offering you a refund and canceling your seats because that's against our terms and conditions. So,
right.
We immediately went out as well and said, please do not purchase tickets from anyone other than us or Ticketmaster. These third-party sites, that's their bread and butter, is making people think that they are Ticketmaster. And, there was one woman who called us on Wednesday afternoon, and she'd spent over $1,600 on standing room seats.
Oh, my gosh.
And, like, that to us is just horrific. Like, that's the exact opposite of what we would ever want to happen. And we were actually able to get those seats back. We're still trying to support her and, working with her bank to get the charges reversed. But, at that point, there's really nothing we can do other than, cancel those seats and make sure that, who purchased those tickets, that email address is flagged so that they won't be able to do that in future.
Yeah.
And I think the perspective of the people comes from just the general way that things tend to operate with a hot ticket event these days. Like, people are so used to the bots and the scalpers being a part of the everyday ticket buying experience in a lot of places that they just expected that was going to be the case here, is that people would just be trying to make money off of these tickets. And again, while there have been a few examples of that, it's against our policies, and we're doing as much as we can to try to prevent that from happening here moving forward, and to hopefully get some of those tickets back into the hands of fans who really want to be at the game.
Well, that's a great point, David, because, we're no yokels here, but we have our way when we go to a Belleville Senators game of purchasing tickets, and we're not used to outside agencies taking advantage of that and swooping in and doing it the way they did it. And I think that more than anything has created this confusion that somehow there must be something going on behind the scenes, because we've never seen this with the Belleville Senators before. But it's nothing that's been cooked up locally. It's what happens in this industry has finally arrived in Belleville for one event.
Yeah, and we did actually, last season was the first time that we did have two different situations during regular season's games where we found out that people had purchased tickets. And it actually was a woman who came up to our guest services, and she said, the person sitting beside me paid 10 times what I paid for my seat, and I think you should talk to them. And one of our account executives went down right away and, asked for examples of the tickets and, saw where they had purchased them from and went through the purchase process with them and was able to figure out what organization they had bought the tickets from. And we were able to contact the organization and send a very strongly worded email about how we weren't going to be participating in that. And, it is the direction that the sports world is going, but it's definitely not one that we want to move in at all.
No.
It was a bit annoying for us as well, because we specifically didn't raise the price of the tickets. And then to see someone, I was like, you paid $1,600. Like, could I have charged you $1,600?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, did I miss an opportunity?
But that was
even raise the ticket prices at all.
That was part of the plan. Yeah, was to keep the prices down and keep the tickets affordable for fans and families to take in this game. So I can see why people would be very frustrated and angry about that. No fault of yours, of course, but seeing that somewhere else. So when you cancel those tickets, because you've started a waiting list, correct?
Yes. So we basically, as we're canceling tickets, or we even did as well go out to our season ticket holders over the weekend and said, because after the backlash and everything, we did have a couple reach out and say, hey, I had gotten my 4 seats, but I'm really probably not going to use all 4. So here, why don't you take one back? And so we ended up sending an email out to everyone and saying, obviously if you're going to be utilizing all your tickets, please feel free to keep using them. But in the event that you are not, or you're hesitating, we would love to buy them back from you and be able to offer them up to our waiting list. And so we have a waiting list going. It's everyone's time stamped from when they applied for the waiting list, so we can take a look at that and make sure that it's first come, first serve. And then once we are able to go back out, we'll be selling the tickets strictly through the box office downstairs. And so we'll be specifically inviting people from the waiting list to come in and have an opportunity to purchase. And so we'll see, right now I think there's 40 tickets available, and that number might change. But we're very hopeful that we'll be able to at least have some to be able to get back. And we also did, anyone who was on that waiting list or who applied for that waiting list before the September 30th game will be able to have first access to our Marlies games in the first half of the season. So when the Marlies are coming back to town, those tickets normally do go very, very quickly as well. And So, as part of, we want to make sure that the community knows that we support them 100% and that, we're an organization for them. And so we want to, make sure that all of those people who are obviously interested in, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Ottawa Senators, that they're having first access to those tickets throughout the first half of the season.
If you felt blindsided by the interest, the poor ticket holders who were picking up phones and reading emails sure weren't prepared for that backlash, were they?
No. So it's a pretty unfortunate part. We have a phenomenal team here of humans, and over the past kind of year since, coming back from the pandemic, I've been working really hard on recruiting and retaining our staff. And, we've got a young group here, and, they were definitely not expecting, some of the voice messages and emails and, even in-person interactions. I had a man yelling in my face last Wednesday morning, and I was trying to give him a free hat. It was a little bit confusing, but I was just, we're saying, we're so sorry, and we're doing everything we can, and we're just trying our best, and people, we're just really, really uncalled for, and just throwing a lot of negativity, and that's difficult from my perspective as an employer to say, like, hey, we're so excited to bring this event to the community, and then to have some of the community turn around and say, that wasn't the right thing. It's pretty difficult. But we also had, a fair share of, season ticket holders and other people emailing and supporting and saying, we can't believe that this is what's happening. Like, it's just even, the comments on our social media. And, it was just, I was really, really shocked that people would take that direction, and a lot of name calling, and I think someone said they were boycotting us for life.
Yeah. I think people just kind of need to put it in perspective about what this is. It's a fairly big event, for our community, given the fact that it's an NHL game, but you have to realize how many people there are in the area, how small at the end of the day our building is, and this is not a unique situation. If there's a hot ticket event, a concert at Scotiabank Arena, and everybody's trying to get tickets for it, and you don't, it's disappointing, but you don't turn around and lash out at the people putting on the event or selling the tickets because you didn't get any. There was, again, some confusion about how many tickets were available, and that's kind of what we're trying to get across here. And I would just say at the end of the day, like, if you don't get into this NHL exhibition game, let me just remind people of that. We're going to have 36 games here of high quality professional hockey at the same price or better, depending on how you buy your tickets. And we're here 2-3 times a week for people to come and watch and cheer and have a good time and a good night out. So this one game, while it is kind of a special event, is not the be-all and end-all when it comes to the high-caliber hockey that we're able to bring to the city. And I just hope people kind of keep that in mind as we head into September and October and our 7th season here.
Yeah, the feeling around it, unfortunately, was supposed to be something really great, and a thank you to the city. It's unfortunate that people reacted in such a way, and really, it's not going to stay, clearly, because when the game rolls around, of course, it will be a good day. But the cloud is unfortunate that happened. That was the reaction.
Yeah, and I think that it will die down. Like, I think that just with, the events over the last couple of years and the pandemic, like, it was so polarizing, and there was so much anger and different things that happened. And so I think that there's just a lot of people who, have faced a lot of disappointment recently, and that's incredibly difficult. And so, we understand that too. And, I just keep saying to people, like, hey, we'll welcome you back. The week after, we've got our preseason game against the Marlies, and, come on out, and we have lots of different things that we're going to be working on and trying to make it as accessible as possible. But I think once people kind of get over the initial reaction, I think it'll be good.
Okay,
it will be.
People want to be season ticket holders. You got spots.
We do have spots. Yeah, our season tickets sale has gone incredibly well this year. So, there's lots of great seats in CAA Arena. Where I'm almost fully sold out of premium seats for the season. So, if you're interested in something special or interested in joining our team here, our season ticket holders get a lot of really cool experiences and obviously they, were able to access these tickets and their seats for these games in advance. And, we do a lot of other things with, player meet and greets and behind the scenes tours and events and different things for our season ticket holders. So if you're a hockey fan and you live in this community, I would highly recommend getting season tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And she's far too shy to promote herself, but boy, does Charity want to sing the national anthem.
Oh, yes.
No, not even a little bit. Thanks, Mark.
Worth the price of admission, I'm telling you. So true.
But no, one of the great things that did get to happen, my parents are season ticket holders, and they actually got to drop the puck last season, the final home game of the season,
cool.
which was such a great day, and the atmosphere in there was amazing. And yeah, so they're quite excited about attending the game on September 30th as well.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's something that we're really trying to build is our fan experience. And, as we've kind of gotten things more organized with the organization and more connectivity with Ottawa, that's something that we're really looking at building. And, the energy here in the last couple of games of last season were phenomenal, and our playoff game was unreal. And so, we're just looking on continuing that energy moving forward. And, the support that we've received has been fantastic. So it's looking good. We're excited about it.
That's great.
All right, good. All the details, too, at BellevilleSens.com.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, guys.
So thanks to them. Yeah, those ticket sellers, do you imagine, you're trying to do a good thing? And
These are just, they didn't make the decision. They had no control over where the tickets were going. They were there solely to sell the tickets, what they had to sell, and to be treated and spoken to, and
frontline workers, right?
Yeah,
Any kind of frontline workers.
Nobody deserves that kind of treatment. You need to take a breath. I understand the frustration and the anger and disappointment, really, is what it stems from. I get that. But the lashing out last week was really something.
They're not doing it on purpose to piss you off. Everybody, right?
No,
and
exactly.
That's what it sounds like. Well, I can't believe you did that. What did I do other than try to make it available to all of our supporters, and then whatever's left over, we're happy to sell to the first come, first serve. It's the way of the world. Yeah. So anyway, we wish them all the best.
It's unfortunate that happened, but on a positive note, they're trying to help. They're trying to work with fans and just remind everybody, you know what? They're here all season.
Yeah.
Some great hockey all season. So great opportunity to get out and support.
So thanks for that. What else going on? Throwback Thursday tomorrow for Burger Revolution.
Yes. You got me this morning.
Rising Burger is the burger of the month. Try it today. Thank us tomorrow. BurgerRevolution.ca. Yep. So Mariah Carey, she notched her first #1 hit.
This week in 1990.
Victim of Love?
Vision of Love.
Okay, I keep going. Victim of Love? Vision of Love. On this day, this week in 1990, she had 14 #1 hits.
During the 90s, which I don't think that's ever been achieved since, has it? Because she's really known. Yeah, it was like a ridiculous amount for an entire decade.
Yeah.
She continued
rolled the 90s.
to roll them out.
So
Vision of Love being the first one.
I have Hero.
Yes.
Which I think, to me, is her most famous #1. I could be wrong.
I'm not arguing that. I do. I think so, too. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah. And you've got Always Be My Victim. Which one's yours, Con?
Always Be My Baby.
Baby, right. I don't know why that word.
I think we both agree that her Christmas one, All I Want for Christmas. And even those who have voted have agreed with us, because you teased me when we unveiled our songs. I thought you were going with Hero, and then you played that one.
Yeah, I'm going with All I Want for Christmas.
Totally threw me off. But I think it would have.
Because we had the discussion. You laughed that we should play it, and I said, no, we couldn't play that.
I know.
What I meant was you couldn't play that. I could, because I've been here a long time.
I hate you. You push the buttons. Just keep poking the bear.
I'm insulated. It's too expensive to fire me. I'm insulated. But it
would cost too much for them to get rid of you now. Yeah. So you
look at, do we fire him for a Christmas song in August, or why don't we wait for some really good
So you were helping me out then?
Kind of, yeah. Okay. That's what I was doing.
Yeah. No, you were just teasing me and being a jerk this morning.
Imagine that. On the day you almost didn't make it in when you almost ran out of gas. So thanks for that. Get your votes in. Winning songs coming up at the 8 o'clock news. And thank you for 200 episodes of the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. Up by 11 o'clock most days. Subscribe, okay? We'll watch all of our numbers go up in August. And it's a pretty good feel of everything we had going on in the morning show. Thanks again to Breanne and David for being on the show. What else going on? I think that's about it, right?
I think that's it, yeah. Another big show tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow on the show, we're going to have Lisa, who is on the podcast. No, she wasn't on the podcast yesterday?
She hasn't been on yet, no.
Okay, so she's on the podcast tomorrow. We're going to talk sex shop and a play that they're doing.
Having Queen Victoria tea, yes.
With a sex shop.
For our 201st episode.
That's right. That's one you don't want to miss tomorrow. And why with a ticket, you can go up and play with them on stage. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Or touch them. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast.
A cast of something.
On YouTube. Boy, I hope we have video for that. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get them. Have yourself a great Tuesday. Could be a storm tonight. Wake up with all the details and how it looks tomorrow morning with Mark and Charity Mornings here on 95.5 Hits FM.